Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm going to do a Bible study today on, we're just going to go back a little bit on, I know we're in Genesis, but I'm going to go back to Genesis 2:20. And I'll go ahead and read that verse for you. So Adam gave names to all cattle, to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. For Adam there was not found a helper comparable to him. In his close study of the living things that God had paraded before him, he needed a companion just like him. Not a servant or an aid, but another life like himself with intelligence, personality, and spirituality. The Hebrew word for helper is ezer, which means to help or one who helps, to rescue, save, or be strong. The word ezer is consistently used in the Old Testament as a vitally important and powerful act of rescue and support. Ezer is used 21 times in the Hebrew Old Testament. 2 times it's used in the context of the woman in Eden. 3 times it's used for people helping in life-threatening situations. And 16 times it's used in reference to God as a helper. Nothing in the Bible indicates ezer or helper is subservient. In fact, ezer can have a sense of strength. Eve was someone who would give vital help to Adam. Genesis 2:21 says, "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place." Now, God's use of a rib was fitting. He could have started over using dust and clay just like he did Adam, but by using a part of Adam himself, God emphasized a deep connection and unity between Adam and Eve. God could have used any other bone to create Eve, but by taking and using Adam's rib, God implied equality and mutual respect. Eve was meant to be alongside Adam, not above or below him. The bone was taken from his side. The rib signifies neither dominion nor subservience, but to live and work side by side in equal partnership. What do ribs do? They protect the heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys. So in turn, Adam is protecting Eve. Men and women are designed to complement each other. Genesis 2:18, God said, "It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him." While helper in Hebrew is simply ezer, ezer kenegdo translates to helper suitable to him or sustainer beside him. Presumably, it was used to alleviate the man's solitude, but it can also mean strengthening someone in a way that they can't do it for themselves. Throughout the Hebrew Bible, when we see the word ezer, it's a word that God uses to describe himself helping Israel. We would never say that God is secondary to anyone. In the Bible, the first word that God uses to describe a woman is a word that God uses to describe himself. God's ideal at creation was that man and women be equal and rule over nature, not each other. This is considered the original example of God's plan for marriage. In Genesis 2:18 it says, "It is not good that man should be alone." The word good is tav in Hebrew, which means to be in harmony with God. So the verse essentially says man is not in harmony with God because he's alone. It's not saying he's sinful, just not in perfect harmony with God. God pointed out all that he created and explained to man that it was good. Having a free will separated him from perfect harmony with God. But as long as Adam, by act of his will, partook of all that was in harmony with God, he would then be in harmony with God. Genesis 1:31. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. Verse 131 explains a little more in chapter 2. God made a helpmate, or the King James version is helpmeet. I actually like the King James version because it implies that God created someone that would help Adam meet God. A closer look at this phrase in the Hebrew means, I will make a helper to stand in front of him. Older teachers often pictured this as a gateway or a doorway. Some saw a deeper picture of someone taking man by the hand and leading him to God. Women by nature can be more spiritual than men. Women can also tend to be more inclined to obedience to God than men. Man would look to a woman to help guide him in spiritual things. This is why Satan tempted Eve and not Adam, because he knew Adam would follow Eve's guidance. A female, through prayer and seeking God, can be a doorway to the presence of God. The enemy has caused so much confusion that we have lost sight of a woman's role as a guide or helpmeet. The headship and leadership role belongs to man, but let's not forget the guiding role of women. I think a lot of times everybody thinks that, in the Bible that Eve was subservient, and that as a woman's role, she has to be subservient to man. But I believe she needs to stand by man. I mean, the man is the head of the house, but we also have a role in the household and helping and guiding. So let's not take our roles too lightly. God designed us this way for a purpose and for a reason. So I hope this blesses you guys today. Like I said before, if anybody has any prayer requests, call me or text me or leave me a message. I have a list of things that I'm praying for. And I love you guys. Have a good day.